Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. A Chinese delegation has expressed an interest in undertaking other projects in Barbados. This was one of the outcomes when Prime Minister Fandel Stewart met recently with a delegation from the China Export and Credit Insurance Corporation and the Beijing Urban Construction Group Company Limited. They were on island to continue discussions on financing projects in the Carlisle Bay area. Mr. Stewart told the group the area means a lot to the island, describing it as fertile with opportunities. He stressed to the Chinese team that doing business with Barbados is a reliable undertaking. Some workers at the Grantley Adams International Airport are off the job, protesting the non-payment of monies owed. The workers and their representatives, the National Union of Public Workers, are upset the remaining 3.5% increase owed from the 7.5% agreed to between 2009 and 2010 has not been paid. NUPW General Secretary Rosalind Smith says today's action is just the first phase and could escalate if not resolved. She contends the matter has been ongoing for too long. A nationalistic tendency can be seen exhibited across individual Caribbean states, and it's just that a university lecturer says is fueling xenophobia in the region. Lecturer in political science and the Deputy Dean of Outreach in the Faculty of Social Sciences, Dr. Wendy Granade, however, notes xenophobia is not new nor unique to the Caribbean. Dr. Granade, who was among panelists for a discussion on xenophobia, suggests there are many reasons why people fear foreigners.
Why do we otherize and why do we become fearful of the other? There is an economic dimension, there is a socio-cultural dimension, there is a political dimension. From an economic standpoint, of course, the impact on wages and the labor market.
Dean of the Faculty of Law, Dr. David Berry, says Barbadians are not as fearful of non-nationals entering the country, and he adds that free movement is essential to the realization of the Caribbean single market and economy.
The 5 freedoms are free movement of skills, services, capital, goods, and the right of establishment. 3 of those, skills, services, and establishment, require free movement of persons. You cannot have movement of skills, CARICOM skilled nationals, without skilled nationals themselves moving. Services, someone has to provide the services. Right of establishment, someone has to operate the companies. And I'll explain how these regimes work. Free movement of capital and goods do not necessarily require free movement of persons, although obviously that could contribute and help.
Director of the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute of Social and Economic Studies, Dr. Don Marshall, says Caribbean people wish to move to explore newer opportunities. As a political scientist, he is, however, concerned about what he says is the securitization of migration.
Migration is increasingly interpreted as a security problem. And they point to rising crime, terrorism, and certain negative effects of globalization. It's not humble pie out there. The reality is that globalization is marked by higher incidences of income inequality, fallout, statelessness, failed states, and so on.
Farmers have started benefiting from a slew of incentives as Barbados moves to further develop the agricultural sector. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food, Fisheries and Water Resource Management, Andrew Gittins, says the ministry has collaborated with the Food and Agriculture Organization on its Food Zone project. This will see the creation of dedicated zones of food production in Barbados.
In the platform for the constant supply of fresh fruits and vegetables of a high quality, an issue which has plagued our farmers for some time and has challenged our ability to form linkages with the tourism and other sectors of our economy.
Mr. Gittins says the Ministry of Agriculture has also been trying to get more young people into the sector.
Recognizing the fact that our farming community is aging, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food, Fisheries and Water Resource Management has recently rolled out a youth entrepreneurship program under the auspices of the European Union's Human Resource Development Program. This program has seen the training of a number of our young people in agricultural science and agri-business management.
Mr. Gittins was speaking at the launch of an agro-tourism linkages program. CEO of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Sue Springer, sees potential in the program.
Often we hear and we see it when you go to the supermarket. One day you will see cucumbers everywhere in the supermarket. The next day you can't find a cucumber. So we have this glut and famine sort of thing going on. And that really is not productive for anybody, because all the farmers that are producing the cucumbers are not able now to sell it at the proper market price. They have produced, obviously a produce like that has a shelf life, and if it's not sold in a particular time frame, then obviously there is the waste factor. So the more effective data that we can give to the farmers, then they can more effectively produce what is actually needed.
Barbados is among 6 Caribbean nations getting help from the Inter-American Development Bank to develop and implement a regional tourism health information monitoring and response system. The 3-year-old project is aimed at helping the tourism sector to adopt comprehensive and effective health and environmental sanitation practices. According to the Ministry of Health in Trinidad, the Caribbean is the most tourism-dependent region in the world, and the recent pandemics, SARS in 2000, H1N1 in 2009, chikungunya in 2013, and now the Zika virus, has accelerated the need to monitor and respond to travel-related illnesses. The Caribbean Public Health Agency will be responsible for implementation and working with the Caribbean Tourism Organization and the Caribbean Hotel Association. The music industry needs to strengthen its crop of Barbadian songwriters. Promoter of Destinee entertainment agency Mike Cummins says it's not good enough for the small batch of songwriters to be producing only around crop over. To tackle this, he's launched a national songwriting competition for Barbadian amateurs and professionals. He says the winner will get their song performed by an international recording artist.
The first prize is $10,000, Barbados, $10,000, and we're also offering that song to be recorded by an international artist to be identified. We cannot identify the artist yet because we need to know what type of song. Every song will suit a different type of artist. So we wait and see what type of song we have, and then we'll approach the appropriate artist.
Mr. Cummins also wants English teachers to encourage students to enter the competition. He says it's to build up the songwriting industry.
Given the fact that there are so many quality English teachers on the island, it means that there are a host of other persons who should have an innate knowledge to write songs. They just need to be educated. We need to push them to awaken that innate sleeping giant buried in their gut. We are encouraging Barbadians to take this more seriously. On this occasion, the message must be that every English teacher should push their students to begin writing songs. The school's music departments should not only be busy preparing singers for NIFCA and singing competitions, but should also solicit help from the English department in developing this area of music.
Time for a break now, but when we come back, regional and international news. Stay with us.